So I am on my way to my first in the soil meeting. I got an email saying that I have to go to the Suitcase and Point outside their location. So I am on my way to see what's gonna happen. Very excited. I will let you know afterwards how it goes. So I just finished my first encounter with that ugly mess. It was about 45 minutes long and we went to a few different places. I started out in front of the Suitcase and Point on James Street, and I was met there by someone who I believe was a stage manager who gave me an orange tie and tied it around my arm so that actors can know who you are. And she took me to an office building where I walked in, and there's a lady sitting at a desk, and she kind of looked at you like you knew what was happening and asked what you were doing. And of course I didn't know what to say, so I said, "Oh, I'm here for that ugly mess." And she just didn't know what I was talking about. And then she said, "Maybe you have an appointment with Mr. X." And I said, "Sure." And from there I went to meet up with a real estate agent who then sent me to look at a property, but then I couldn't get it open, so I had to call a number, and I met up with another girl who did not talk very much, who sent me to a bookstore on Queen Street, where I went in and had a very kind of intense, metaphysical type, deep conversation with a young woman. And they showed me lots of books, and I feel like there were hints, but I couldn't put anything together right now, so not sure. And that ended with me being given a CD that said, "Go listen to this in your car." I don't have a car, so hopefully I can do that when I'm home and I did not just like miss 3 steps. But yeah, so I'm gonna listen to that CD tonight and see what that's all about. So far it's been pretty fun. The actors are really into it. That's one of the things I noticed. The only thing that was kind of awkward was the unclear ending, because we actually did tell them whether we had a car or not, so that kind of made me a little uneasy, because I was really unsure of whether something in the CD was going to tell me to go somewhere else, but I have no way of listening to it right now, so if it does, that's unfortunate, because I am not. But anyway, yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it, and I'm excited to see what happens next. Hello! So it is day 2 of In the Soil, and it is like 10:15, and I'm just waiting to begin my second That Ugly Mess encounter. So I'm sitting on a rock right now beside Memorial Park, waiting for my time. Feeling pretty excited about today. It's a little early, but I'm awake, that's what matters. I have my nice orange armband on, making a nice fashion statement with the orange. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to today, seeing what happens. So I will let you know how that goes. So I just finished my third encounter with That Ugly Mess. It is Saturday night, and my time was at 10:30. And for the record, I don't know if I've ever been that scared in my life. I had to put on a fume mask, I guess you'd call it. It went over your face like that. And walk up to this very tall man, also wearing a mask, who was not speaking. He was just staring at me. And he opened a door to a creepy apartment above Beechwood Donuts that I was supposed to go into earlier the day before, and I couldn't because it was locked. But people have been hinting that it's connected to Lily. And Sarah and I had our suspicions that this is what would be happening in the pitch black. And that is exactly what happened. And I'm not going to go into too many details, but I went up into that creepy dark apartment and I was terrified. And there were creepy flare lights, and this guy was just staring at me. And then there was a recording of a man speaking to you from a stereo, and then there was a figure who came up behind a door, and then a voice yelling at me to get out, so I got the hell out of there. And then I had to follow this little girl who also wouldn't speak to me, which seems to be a common trend in this show, to the same office building I'd been at the day previous, where there were a bunch of people lying on the floor in this dark room, and I was so sure someone was going to try and grab my ankle. But it didn't happen, thank God, because I probably would have cried. And then I had to go into another room where there was a woman playing the violin, and then another woman who washed my hands. But the good thing is that after tonight, I feel like I'm starting to put together pieces. A couple of the elements of tonight, like the washing of my hands and the voice saying that I was the one behind the door, it's all maybe starting to fall into place. Tiny, tiny pieces of it. So that's nice to know that this might not all be just a giant ruse. Anyway, I'm really tired, so I'm going to go to bed, and I will let you know how tomorrow goes. Okay, so I just finished that ugly mess. I don't really know how I feel about it, to be honest. It definitely wasn't what I was expecting. I think I might have been expecting it to be a little more interactive and for you to have more of an impact on what's happening. I thought I was going to have to use my brain a lot more and like decipher clues and stuff, and you really didn't. The ending was pretty cool. We were told to dress in funeral clothes and walk down a path where all the actors were kind of standing there staring at you. And then at the end, you saw one of the characters and he kind of had your hand and like stared at you for a while and then gave you a piece of paper with a quote from Endgame. And then I got a little lost at this point because I was just confused. The director, Daniele, then kind of meets with you and says, the experience is over, thank you for participating, and directs you on how to get out of there. I messed that up big time. So that's it for that ugly mess, and Sarah and I will be meeting tomorrow to discuss it.